My name is Joe and I work for More Large, the UK distributor of Tannus ARMOUR. We often get plenty of questions regarding the Armour, so we decided to put this video together to answer all the benefits that you get. A lot of people ask us what's the difference between the Tannus ARMOUR and various other inserts that are on the marketplace at the moment. This is completely different. It's not to be designed to be used as a tubeless product. It's a tubeless alternative. It's the only one on the marketplace that's like that. The way it works is it's a foam insert that wraps around your inner tube, basically protecting from anything that comes in through the rubber of the tyre that doesn't penetrate the inner tube. So what are the benefits with Tannus ARMOUR over a tubeless setup? You can actually go to about 10 psi less than you would do with a tubeless setup. So you're getting all the grip, all the traction benefits that you get from tubeless. You don't have to change the sealant every 6 months. It's impossible to burp because the air is trapped inside the inner tube. Burping, just for those not sure about that, is where you hit a corner rather fast and at low pressures the tyre squirms over, revealing the tyre bead lifting up off the rim, which then allows sealant to pop out and spray everywhere, all over yourself. You probably won't notice until you get to the bottom of the track, but you've lost maybe 3 or 4 psi. Shale, sharp rocks, even sharp roots can cut through your tyre. And I'm not just talking about sidewall tears, you can get a tear on top, on the sides. Not that you'd get this on a trail, but I could get a knife and cut this tyre. And if it was tubeless, the sealant and air would just gush out, that'd be it. Game over for the tyre as well. Now tyres aren't cheap nowadays, so you've got to bear that in mind. How many tyres do you have back at home at the moment? You've either got to run them with an inner tube again, or that's it, they're done for. Quite a sophisticated formula of the Armour repels any sharp object that goes through the tyre that can't penetrate the inner tube. Maintenance of tubeless. Now this is also for any racers, so if you're at a race and it suddenly starts raining and you want to change tyres from an all-weather tyre to a wet tyre, but you're tubeless and suddenly you've got to have an air can, compressor pump to reseat your tyre. You might lose some fluid. They've got to do this all in a grassy field, which isn't necessarily easy. Again, if you go back to this system, it's a very simple few pumps to the inner tube, easy insert, and away you go. And that can also be relevant for if you do get a puncture on the trail. Again, this is just as easy as changing an inner tube when you're out there. You don't have to worry about plugging it. Finally, what we find with quite a few riders that do review this product or have tried it for the first time is the dampening of the tyre. So the foam itself has got 15 millimetres of foam just there, right at the peak of your tyre. Low speed bumps and roots and rocks and things like that, especially in climbing, the tyre's compressing and the dampening is improving traction. People always want to compare the tubeless setup to the Armour setup with rolling resistance. The tests have been done back at the factory, we've seen the reports, and there's absolutely zero difference in rolling resistance. It's got sizes for all nature of riding. So the 4 disciplines that it covers is mountain bike, road, gravel and commute. From the commute side, it goes down to 700 by 28 to 34C. So that covers a wide spectrum of road bikes to general commute bikes to a lot of e-bike hybrids as well that are on the marketplace at the moment. Gravel's a little bit more exciting because of the nature of the narrower rims. It's really difficult for riders to be able to get a right PSI on a tubeless setup in gravel because we're riding more and more aggressive trails now on gravel where we actually want to use lower pressures to get more grip, but then you're burping an awful lot on a narrow rim. So this product, fitting inside a gravel bike, offers the grip without burping, with the puncture protection. Quite a few questions come in regarding about what pressures to run their tyres with the Armour insert. This is definitely down to personal preference, and it also depends on what discipline of cycling you do. But we say rule of thumb for mountain biking is if you're going from tubeless to try 5 to 6 psi less than you would normally. For an inner tube rider to try it out, go about 10 psi than you would normally run on your mountain bike. For anybody that has no idea what pressures they run, pop about 25 psi in there and keep on going down until you feel as though the tyre's starting to feel a bit too flat to ride. Gravel and road, again, completely down to preference, but we'd always say start about 2/3 of what pressure you would normally run on them bikes. Quite a few people ask if this makes your bike puncture proof. No system is 100% puncture proof, but this product will certainly make it highly unlikely you get a puncture. So initially, using the Tannus ARMOUR, you're adding an insert and an inner tube into your current wheel setup. Straight away, you're thinking about the weight penalty involved. So we're just going to do some quick weights to show you the difference between a tubeless setup and a setup with Tannus ARMOUR that can show you actually it can weigh a bit less. So the way we're able to lower the weight of the Tannus setup is by your tyre carcass choice. For example, the Kenda Hellcat in gravity casing and trail casing. So everything inside this tyre on the gravity casing is to avoid cuts and tears. If it's cut, all the air's straight out and you've got a flat. Even if you do cut the sidewalls on this trail casing, the armour's behind it protecting your inner tube, keeping you inflated. The weight of the Tannus setup, trail casing version of the Hellcat, unfortunately we've only got a 2.6 at hand. This weighs 939 grams. Now we're going to weigh the Tannus ARMOUR, weigh the inner tube, and that weighs 220 grams. If you did want to save a bit more weight, there are polyurethane inner tubes in the marketplace. This one weighs 49 grams. So we'll start by weighing the tyre. This is the gravity casing 27 by 2.4. As you can see, that's 1200 grams. Now we're going to weigh your valves and sealant. That's 120 millilitres of sealant put in there, which is suggested to put in mountain bike wheels, plus the weight of your valves. That comes to 148 grams. Obviously, that doesn't have any rim protection in there. Riders do choose to use tyre inserts, which can range between 80 to 260 grams. So as soon as you start adding that benefit in there as well, as you can see, the Tannus setup is quite considerably lighter. One of the most attractive properties of the Tannus ARMOUR is the price. It's £30 per wheel, giving the option to either run it in your rear wheel if you're more worried about casing your back wheel, or run it as a pair for £60 for a pair. This makes Tannus ARMOUR very attractive in comparison to other tyre inserts on the market. I hope this has answered some questions. If you love riding, hate punchers, then look no further than Tannus ARMOUR.